Hi everyone, welcome back to the Lost and Found podcast. This is your host, Amanda. I'm excited to be here. A little stressed out, to be honest, today while I'm recording. I've been in my sweatsuit. This is, for those of you watching on YouTube, this is a new outfit from Petula Active. Not Honor this time, but Petula. Anyway, I've been wearing this all week, and God bless the UPS man that has been here 3 different times already. I just realized when I walked outside this morning that he's definitely seen me wear this all week. So that's where I'm at. No makeup, same set of sweatpants that I've been in for a week straight. I wanted to hop on here because we haven't done a solo episode in a while. And to be completely honest, I've been so overwhelmed. I've had so much going on with my family and with my day job, and something just always had to give. And it was so much easier to just let the podcast go, because it's so time intensive. I know that I'm sure some of that is my fault because I don't have enough systems in place to make this more efficient. And one day I'm hoping I can magically find the spare time to figure out how to do that. But really the only way to get better at editing and scheduling and social media and all that jazz is to do it more. And I really don't have the time. Right now, the whole first quarter of the year just flew by, and I was gone in January for family vacation stuff and then grandmother stuff that we had to handle. February was very similar, just regular work that took precedent. And I think I did maybe 2 episodes in January, 2 in February, and March I finally recorded in person and have been trying to get back on track. And that's some of the episodes that you've seen that have been released. But I'm just really, really overwhelmed, and I felt like a failure. I felt like I didn't have anything good to say. I felt like, why would I want to talk about my journey with anybody right now? Because every time I think about trying to get on the mic, something comes up, or I'm exhausted, or I'm angry with myself, or I'm frustrated with where I'm at in my journey, and I don't feel like I have anything nice to say. Nothing positive, nothing really uplifting. And the irony being, right, that the whole point of this show started out with me not being in a good place, right, and needing to talk about it and needing to get my emotions out in order to figure out what it is I really want and what it is I'm feeling. And the frustration I'm feeling now is not the same as the frustration I first had when I first started the show. What's going on right now is like what people or the internet likes to call the messy middle. That part of your life or that part of your journey where you've already decided to start walking down this new path, and yet this new path has forests and mudslides and storms, and it sometimes turns into the Hunger Games and wild animals chase you and you don't eat or sleep for days, and then other days it's really nice and you're enjoying the hike and it's a beautiful scenery. But every time I really think about this show lately, or trying to get it back on track and get it going, I just feel like I'm sinking through quicksand, right? I think January, February, March, I must have had another depressive episode because I live alone and because I'm not interacting with people on a regular basis besides my own family. And I do tend to do this, especially when I'm really wrapped up in work. It's just so easy to get tunnel vision, and the only thing you care about is the priority that's right in front of you. And maybe I'm describing survival mode. I just wanted to come on here and apologize, because the whole point of the show was to explain whatever it is that I'm feeling. And no one told me the episodes needed to be an hour long. No one told me the industry standard is X, Y, or Z. And I'm sure that you can look up stats for the most prominent shows and how long they are and how often do people listen to your episode and when do they trail off and blah, 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 blah. There's analytics to everything. If you're creating anything digital online right now, there's analytics to everything. But that's another job. That's another role. That's another position that I would need to hire out to fully understand whatever the fuck is going on with this podcast. And I still get annoyed with all the other content creators that I see on the internet that are like, follow these steps or follow my newsletter and I'll teach you how to turn your podcast into an XYZ performing podcast and just improve your SEO. Just do these 5 things and you'll have a record-breaking hit or whatever it is. And it's agonizing. I don't see anything on the internet that talks to a person like me where it says, are you still working somewhere else and trying to figure out how to convert this? Because pretty much the only other solution that I can think of right now for how to get my life back in order is to either, one, completely quit and go 100% rogue and dive all in, which is a terrible idea, and I'll explain why in a few minutes. because that's one of the updates I need to give you. Or 2, go straight into even more debt, hiring out help to figure out how to do this. And I don't think that that's what I want to do. I don't think that that's what I need to do. The show doesn't make money, but I need it to eventually make money in order to make this not just a hobby that I can convince the IRS to give me money back on. I want it to actually turn into a potential profit of some sort, but it's not as easy as people might think. It is a very low barrier to enter into the podcasting industry. Literally, if you have a microphone, your cell phone, and a recording software, you can put anything up. Anyone, anywhere in the world, if you have the bare minimum equipment, you can start a show. It's not that hard. It's free. Hosting platforms don't charge you to host the show. You could do it on your Substack, which is probably the smarter way to do it, to try and get more people to follow you, and pay for access to that, or a Patreon. But I don't really do that either, because that's another goddamn platform you have to stay on top of. But like, I keep beating myself up because I'm watching all these other influencers and writers and content creators. They magically have a perfect Substack article every week, or 2 or 3 of them a week, and a LinkedIn post, 2 or 3 of them a week, and a tweet, and a whatever, and all the luggage matches across the platforms. And I know that that comes from having a system in place that helps them replicate that content into multiple platforms to get it to fit. But I'm doing everything like that by hand, other than if I go into using AI tools that are going to help me. And now my Instagram algorithm is all messed up because all it does is send me Claude FAQs and how to use the Claude chatbots and other LLM stuff. And now Claude apparently can edit videos for you too. So I'm just like, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? What do I focus on? What do I pay attention to? What do I care about? And I care about you guys. I care about the listeners. I care about other people that feel like me, where they can't afford to quit their job and just chase their dream because I don't have a safety net, right? I don't have liquidated cash that would match up to a year's salary, right? And maybe I'm making it way too hard on myself. I don't know. I'm probably overthinking all of this, which is another classic Amanda thing. But like, do you get it now? Like, I've just been so overwhelmed lately, and I care about this a lot, but it's really hard. And I never batch recorded in the very beginning. And I don't have a full-time editor that I can afford when I go to the studios. So to hire a team to record in-person sessions, which is what the majority of these big podcast groups and influencers can do, they can afford to hire teams that can do this. So they'll go in for like a week or 2 or a designated day or 2 each week. Maybe they record on Tuesdays and Thursdays every week, and they'll batch record with guests on those days. So then you can get however many episodes you guys, that particular show does per week. You can get 3, 6, 9 episodes done. All the millennials out there are immediately thinking of that rap song. Anyway, I've never done that, and I know that if I did, it would be several grand. Probably upwards of $5,000 or more to batch record, batch edit, pay someone to post it across all the social media platforms for YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. It's a fuck ton of stuff to keep up with, you guys. It really is. And that's why I know that anybody that actually has a job as a full-time content creator, we make fun of them. We do. We make fun of influencers. We make fun of those people. But like, the literal skill and the learning curve to figure out all those different softwares and technologies and editing tools, hats off. Hats off to you guys, because I want nothing to do with that. I don't care about, I'm sure I should to a certain extent. Like, I don't care 100% about what my content looks like, or 100% about am I using the right like caption editing tools, like I don't care. Mostly because I know that there are other people out there in the world that are better than me. And out of all the lanes that I want to be in, I'm at least smart enough to know the lanes I don't care about, I would rather hire out for. I really wish that I could. And one of these days, I need to be more positive. I need to be more delusional in my manifestation. I need to remind myself, you need to say it as if it's already real. When I'm feeling overwhelmed, when I'm really worried about how am I going to make this stupid show work, you need to say it like it's already real. The money is on its way. The sponsorships are on their way. Brand deals are on their way. More listeners are on their way. They already love the show. They're already huge fans. They already want to support the endeavors of the brand. Art is supposed to be fun and cathartic and engaging and tickle the parts of your brain that you don't normally use in your analytical corporate day job stuff, you know? And for whatever reason, over the last 3 months, 4 months now, because it's the end of April, the creative drive has not been there. It really hasn't. I've not been motivated to do much of anything. I'll do the bare minimum, right? I'll get the announcement posts out and planned, but I really need some sort of calendar structure to help me post, because that's kind of the biggest thing. I can get the videos edited, I can get the episodes edited, but scheduling them on a calendar to be released across the social media pages and across my website and my Substack, that's where I really need help. So I need to dive in there. And it's just scary. And on the personal side of things, beyond the professional world, because I can't really talk about my day job, but on the personal side, like the last few months have been pretty tricky for my family. As some of you may know, maternal grandmother has been sick for a long time. Back in October of 2025, she started having health declining in various ways. And it took a toll on the family. And in January, we were finally able to get her into an assisted living situation. So the siblings and her friends have split up visiting duties and caretaking duties because she now is in a 24/7 facility. She has caretakers, so we don't need to be there every day, but I'm pretty sure my mom goes every day or every other day right now. And while she and my father are in Europe for the month, I am taking care of all the pets. And I now go to visit Grammy on the opposite days when my uncle or my grandmother's previous caretaker cannot be there. So that's just another part of life that's going on, and another part that takes priority and precedence over the show. And I wanted to come on here and explain where I'm at, because it hasn't really been a very nice place internally inside my head. And I thought that it would be a terrible episode. And what I really need to realize is that I need to be honest. The only way I'm ever going to learn or get comfortable with being authentically myself, I have to share the parts that I don't like. I have to share the parts that don't feel good. I have to share the parts that are not perfectly edited or curated, because that's what real life feels like. You know, I'm not going to pretend to be somebody that I'm not. I'm not a full-time content creator. I am not a professional editor. I am not a creative director. I'm not a filmmaker. I'm not. I'm just a millennial trying to figure out what the fuck to do with her life anymore after it completely fell apart. And I get caught up in the same things you guys do. I get caught up in am I being left behind? Am I not moving in the right direction with my life? Am I missing something? How did I get to 35 and I still feel this way about myself? Or I still feel this way about my career? Or I still feel this way about how my life is progressing? What do I do? How do I answer that? How do I solve for that when I'm watching all these other people move forward, or I'm watching all these other people capitalize on the thing that I want to capitalize on? What are they doing right that I'm not? And I'm sure if we want to get technical, they are, because they're editing or using keywords or doing whatever. But I feel like lately my creative drive has just been plummeted because I still don't fully know how to actually just be me here. How do I share what I want to share without it having any kind of agenda behind it? But I also need to have a hook, and I need to have visual cues, and I need to be able to keep your attention for X amount of time. I just want to be me. I just want to put a video out there and not care about what happens to it. But that's also the problem, because if I want the show to get picked up, or if I want brand deals or whatever, people are going to look at your engagement. They're going to look at your follower count and all that, your subscribers, your raters, your reviews. What are people saying about the show? That kind of stuff. And it's part of that vicious cycle. You have to feed the beast, and you gotta do it before you're ready. You gotta do it before you're good at it. What is it that people say? You know, repetition removes doubt. Clarity comes from action. You don't know what lies ahead unless you actually move forward. All those things. I know they are true. And sometimes it's just so much easier to give you guys advice than for me to take my own advice. I wish I had something better to say right now, and I don't. And so that's kind of why the first 4 months of this year, the show has not followed its regular cadence, because I've been overwhelmed by things outside of the show. And I can't afford help yet. I could, but it would just mean going into a lot of credit card debt. And I'm not thinking about that. It makes me physically ill, literally so ill. And I don't want to. So I've got to figure out a balance of some sort. So we'll see. I'll calm down. Life was about to change a lot anyway, so it's entirely possible I will have a better outlook on my life in a couple of months. And that's because, drum roll please, I have put in an offer on a house in Florida. So I am not moving back to Nashville. I will be moving to Florida, Tampa specifically. So if you guys are Tampa listeners or Florida-based listeners, hit me up. Let's be friends. Send me all your favorite things to do in Tampa, Sarasota area, Clearwater, St. Pete, all your favorite stuff, because I'm about to be a new resident. Moving there later in June, and I'm very excited because I've been thinking about doing that for a while now, but I didn't want to move until my grandmother was in a better place. But in the last month, she's had at least 2 strokes that we know of, or what they call TIAs. So they're not full-on strokes, but it's entirely possible that because she's been having the TIAs since October, it's possible that they've caused like lesions in her brain, and so she just ends up having what could be like a miniature seizure too. I don't know. So she's been not having a good time. And so I didn't want to talk to my parents about moving until she was in a better place or we knew what was going on with her, because if she needed more help, I would stay and help my mom out. But in January, we thought, okay, she's in official like assisted living. Like my mom won't be expected to be there in her home with her every single day. And like we sold her condo, we sold all her property, her furniture, her everything, her car, gave her cat to a new home. So he got rehomed. And my parents, have said several times that they plan on moving closer to my brother and sister-in-law. They want to invest in and live closer to the mountains, closer to them and their kid. Currently 1 kid, but I'm sure future kids will come. But I didn't want to live in North Carolina. I like visiting. I can see why it's great for my brother and my sister-in-law, and they have established businesses and networks there, and they don't need to leave in particular. But I don't know. I never feel like the last couple of years of my life have been a lot of I know what I don't want anymore. And that's almost as good as knowing exactly what you do want. And by reminding myself of what it is I actually don't want and I follow through on that, it's going to get me closer to the life that I really that I want to live. It'll get me closer to a place where I actually feel happy where I'm at. And I don't want my parents to listen to this episode and then think like, oh my gosh, our daughter's been miserable. Like we've helped her out and all these things and she's sad and blah, blah. And it's like, well, that's not your fault. I've been perpetually sad for the last 6 years. Anyway, but they were very supportive when I told them, well, if you're moving to North Carolina, this was back in like January, February, I don't really want to move there. I think I'd rather live in Florida. And my dad was like, well, I know that. I listened to your show. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to look? And so in March, we went down and looked at some places, and my parents ended up really liking one of them and they wanted to put an offer in. So we put an offer in April and it was accepted. So yay. But I'm just really overwhelmed and terrified. And every time somebody wants to bring it up or talk about it that knows about it, I really don't want to talk about it because they're like, aren't you so excited to do all these things? And I'm like, no. Yes, but no. Because all I can think about right now is doing my day job, making sure I'm doing all the requirements and client work that my boss is asking me to do, making sure I'm taking care of my grandmother and that she doesn't pass away before my mom can get back from Europe, so that way they can at least be together. And then once my mom gets back, I have to give her all the pets over so that way I can come back to Nashville and record with more people in the middle of May, and then I'll come back somewhere around like the 24th or the 25th of May, and then from there we start packing everything. So no, I'm not super excited. I also don't have enough PTO. So like that would mean packing at night after work, which would mean not editing the show, not editing the podcast, not putting my stuff out. So putting the podcast back on hold again. My mom would be here during the day trying to pack and put things away. So like it's kind of a distraction because I work from home. It's a lot. It's a lot where we have to go through the whole, all right, what are you taking? What are you leaving? What are you donating again? Moving sucks. I'm excited at the fact that I have finally followed through on something I've wanted to do for a long time. Am I excited about the process that it's going to take to make that come to fruition by June? No, I'm not. And the honest answer right now. And I don't know about you guys, but my allergies have been off the wall. Like pretty much from the moment my parents left a couple weeks back. The pollen has been insane here in Tennessee, so I haven't really slept well much at all because I've been so congested and sneezy and blowing my nose and just utterly disgusting. Haven't worn makeup or done my hair really because what's the point? What's the point if you're just gonna wipe it right off your face with every 5 seconds? So I think that just there's been so many things that have pushed me out of feeling like myself and feeling inspired and all these things. And so I wanted you guys to know what was going on and why I've been absent and why I haven't talked much. But I also wanted you to understand that like this shit is not for the faint of heart. If you really want to create something out of your life, if you really want to change who you are and who you want to become, if you are stuck in a career that you're not super happy with, if you are afraid to pivot, if you are contemplating starting completely over and rebuilding your life, that's a serious consideration, but it's an important consideration. And I don't want you to take that decision lightly because this ain't easy, but I know that it'll be worth it in the end. And I know that you'll be really surprised when you look back on yourself and you look back on your timeline and go, the me from 6 months ago, totally unrecognizable compared to the me right now. And I understand if you're terrified. I understand if you're overwhelmed. I understand if you're scared. I understand if you're frustrated and you know you need to leave, but you can't afford to leave yet. So you've got to find other ways to feel happy in the moment until reality takes off or life takes off. And I don't want to sit here and feed you a bunch of fake positivity because I don't have it in me. I really don't. I know that how I speak to myself matters and I need to work on that a lot more. I really need to still work on like not the negative part or not beating myself up for taking a break. I need to figure out that fine line between taking a rest and avoiding doing the work. Because I know when I'm creatively overwhelmed or I'm just exhausted, I have no motivation to get back onto the computer. Because all of this is digital, right? I telework, so my life is digital and I'm staring at computers all day for 8 hours or more per day. So then if I take a break to go eat dinner or walk my dog or whatever, and then I come right back onto the laptop for another 5 to 6 hours at night, I don't want to do it. I don't. So that's where I'm at right now. Like I'm overwhelmed and I'm tired. I'm not mad at the podcast, right? I'm not mad at it. I'm just, in terms of interpersonal relationship with it, it's exhausting right now. It takes a lot more energy out of me than it puts back into me right now. It's become very easy for me to just set it aside. But I know that I can't do that. So I'm hoping when my life is not, in theory, as chaotic once I'm in Florida, because I'll be alone again, but I'll have a little more time to myself. Maybe I can get back on track, or I can start doing the Monday mantras again and the listener Q&A episodes on Wednesdays or something. That's what I tried to do last year. I did a couple of those and I need to bring that back. I think that would be fun. If any of you ever have questions, if you ever have a story you want to share, if you ever have a particular question for me about your journey, or if there's anything I can do to help you, you can always submit a question at hello@podcastforthelost.com. You can also go onto my website. There's a contact page on my website as well on podcastforthelost.com, and you can submit your question through that contact page too. Everything would be anonymous. I would not be following up with you directly if you did not want to be known, and I would never name you on the show as well. So your identity would be kept private, but if that's something any of you are interested in or you would like help with something in particular, you can always send an email. But yeah, that's where I'm at today. This episode's a little unhinged, mostly because the inside of my brain is unhinged right now, and the full truth is that I've been really overwhelmed, and I'm sorry if I've let you down in any way. I'm sorry if you've missed the interaction. I don't mean for it to not be there. I have a really hard time lately trying to show up in a way that doesn't feel right to me, and I don't ever want to come off as fake or forced. And so I know that what I do and what I say online gets monitored, and I have to be really careful about how I show up and what I say and what I do, especially about the podcast or my career, which is the whole point of the show. So it's just a weird fine line that I'm trying to figure out how to navigate, and I haven't fully figured it out. So I'll work on it someday. That's a future Amanda problem, but I love you guys. I mean it. I will catch you again soon. I will try my best to try and get back on here and connect with you. I have tons of ideas written into my phone and notes and stuff that I want to use to bring up topics and things. So I have content that I want to talk about. I have inspiration that I've been holding on to, but just it's finding the time to actually batch record a bunch of stuff and turn it into something for you. That's the tough part. So one of these days, man, one of these days. But I love you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting. As always, you can find me hello@podcastforlost.com. Submit your listener questions, submit your Wanderer Wisdom request. I will read them on an episode in the future, so you can get your question answered directly on the show. You can also find me, Podcast for the Lost, on all social media platforms. You can watch episodes on YouTube. We're on Spotify, Apple, all the other places that you love the show. So remember to like, subscribe, leave a review, rate the show, share it with your friends. Leaving a 5-star review helps the show so much. Of course, leaving your written review on Apple is super helpful. On Spotify, you can leave 5 stars and you can comment directly on each episode, and I can engage with you there as well. I read every comment. I respond to every comment. Same thing on YouTube. If you guys leave comments there, I will respond. But I just appreciate it, and I really appreciate anytime you guys DM me, anytime you post about the show on your own Instagram pages or your own Instagram stories. That's huge. It gets the word out and gets me in front of other listeners that could also benefit from the show. So I really appreciate it. So anytime you share your stories, anytime you save a post, it makes a world of difference. So I really do appreciate you, and I love you guys. I do. Mostly because I need to learn how to love myself, and how can I be an example for you if I don't keep showing up. Right? So cheers to that. I will catch you guys next time. And remember, wanderers are always welcome.